Drinking buddies, I toured Buffalo Trace. I even took something off the tour that I don't think you're supposed to. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddy. Sorry for that terrible tease at the beginning. I had to do it. While I was on the tour, I found this piece of corn. It could have been, Pappy Van Winkle. You never know. So I will be auctioning this in the comments starting at $100. So let me know. Also got a sticker, an invaluable sticker. I'll throw that in with the corn. Anyway, drinking buddies, I toured Buffalo Trace. It was a really great experience. We started by hitting up the gift shop when we got there, and they allowed my wife and I each to buy an E.H. Taylor small batch. Picked out a couple souvenirs. I grabbed this for the bar. I have an old one that doesn't say anything on it. I just like this one. Wanted to have a Weller one, so that's my new bar top thingy. So this is Weller, the original wheated bourbon. Let's see, what else did I grab at the gift shop? I grabbed more gift shop stuff. Oh, my wife wanted a Buffalo Trace Christmas ornament for the tree. Buffalo Trace Christmas ornament. And I grabbed some Eagle Rare socks, some fabulous Eagle Rare socks. They had Weller socks and some other stuff too, but I just like the Eagle on them, so I went with those. All right, we got done paying. I sent my wife and kids off on their way. They found something fun to do in town, and I went ahead and started waiting for my tour to begin. And while I was waiting, I noticed that Freddy Johnson walked in. For those of you who don't know, his dad and Albert Blanton created Blantons. And Freddy is responsible for a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now. Freddy's soda is named after Freddy. So the soda company that is owned by Buffalo Trace is named after Freddy. Super nice guy. He was signing some bottles for some people. I didn't ask for that. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted a picture. So I got a picture. Here it is. Talked to him for a minute. Super nice guy. He was so excited that I asked for a picture. It was his birthday.
We're a National Historic Site. So what you can't do is you can't knock the wall down, put in whatever you want.
Anyway, if somehow he's watching this, which I highly doubted, he didn't know who I was, so there's no way he's watching this. But if he is, happy birthday and thanks for sharing a birthday moment with me. So when you come upstairs, they have this big wall with a lot of their patriarchs that have contributed a lot. People like Pappy Van Winkle, people like William LaRue Weller, people like George T. Stagg that have contributed to the distillery over the years. And there's many different tours you can take. One of the best parts about Buffalo Trace is all their tours are free. Now, pretty much any other distillery you're going to have to pay to go. Now, there is one minus to this, and I'll get to that later. But overall, you can't complain. It was free. So anyone who says, they didn't even pour out anything special for me. It's free. Shut up. Anyway, and I think they poured out something pretty special for us. So we'll get back to that later. Now, you go through the distillery, which it's a historical landmark. So anytime they upgrade the facilities, they have to take the roof off and put everything in with a crane because you can't disturb the walls of these facilities because it's a historical landmark. It is just a beautiful facility, and you can tell that they really love their craft. Everything that they're doing at Buffalo Trace is really cool. We got to see one of their rooms where they do their adventurous stuff or they do their experimental stuff. Things like the 4-grain E.H. Taylor that had amaranth in it. What it came out of that Emmer, the Egyptian wheat Emmer bourbon thing that just came out that was like $500. That would have been created there. Anyway, really cool stuff. Their facilities are so nice there, and everyone was really nice. Just a lot of history. You got to see the rick houses. You walk by the Blanton's rick house where all Blanton's is going to be aged in. And it was kind of funny. They had a pallet of Blanton's sitting outside it, and I said, they said it wasn't Blanton's Day. Can we just each buy a case of that? I said something stupid like that. And he's like, oh, no, those are empty. And I was like, sure they are. And he's like, no, they are. Look at the top layer's upside down. And I was like, I was just kidding. They probably are empty. I wasn't denying you. But yeah, so if you ever see a pallet and the top layer is upside down, it's an empty pallet. Little tip there. Really didn't learn anything that I didn't know about whiskey. I did teach the tour guide something, which was kind of fun. He said that Buffalo Trace has 4 mash bills, and he went through them. Mash bill 1 is going to be their low rye mash bill that makes things like E.H. Taylor Small Batch, George T. Stagg, Eagle Rare, that type of stuff. Mash bill 2 is going to be its higher rye mash bill, which is going to make things like Blantons and Hancock and Rock Hill Farms. Mash bill 3 is going to be their, well, it's not actually called mash bill 3, it's just called the wheated mash bill, but that's going to make Weller and Pappy Van Winkle. And then they have their rye mash bill, which is going to make Thomas Handy and Sazerac and things like that. He said those are all their mash bills, and I said, but there's the 95.5 rye, and he's like, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, but it's in the E.H. Taylor, the straight rye, and he's like, no, that's just the rye mash bill. And I had to pull it up on their website and show him. I didn't do this in front of people. I waited until we were walking somewhere else. I didn't want to embarrass him or anything, but I was like, hey, there is an extra mash bill. And he's like, oh, cool. I didn't know that. You taught me something, so that was cool. Distillery was awesome. When you get done with the tour, you walk around, you see all this stuff. It was called the Hard Hat Tour if you want to take the same tour. But when we got back to the tasting room, we were given our tasting. And so our tasting was Buffalo Trace, Weller Special Reserve, E.H. Taylor Small Batch, the Buffalo Trace Bourbon Cream, and Freddy's Root Beer. Now, this was the only complaint I would have. Like I said, you can't complain about a free tour, but my only issue is I would probably rather pay a little bit of money and get bigger pours, to be honest. So, but they keep it free for a reason. Now you basically just got like a thimble full of each, which was a little disappointing. But like I said, it's a free tour. You cannot complain. I just would prefer to throw a little money at it and get some bigger pours. But so you did Buffalo Trace, you did the Weller, then you did the E.H. Taylor, and then you did the Bourbon Cream, and then you did the Freddy's Root Beer, and then you dumped the rest of your Bourbon Cream in the Freddy's Root Beer to make like a root beer float. That really wasn't my jam. I will say that he is right on the tour. He said, if you're not a big soda guy, you might like Freddy's Root Beer because it's not as sweet as the other root beers. It mixes better with bourbon, and it's not generally as cloyingly sweet as most soda. And I would agree with that. It wasn't too cloyingly sweet. But as a guy who drinks 0 sugar soda, anytime I have something with sugar in it, I feel like it's melting my teeth. That's a personal problem, I know. But that was pretty cool. It was awesome. The entire tour was really cool. Everyone was really nice. I got done with my tour, and I walked down the stairs, and they had ran out of E.H. Taylor. They put out Weller Special Reserve. So I ended up getting a Weller after all, because I don't know. I didn't know they did that. So some people could double dip if you get there at the right time. I guess get there right as they're running out, and then you might get something else. That just tells me the day before they didn't run out of Weller. And also that tells me that their productions that they're working on. That's the other thing. So Buffalo Trace has spent billions of dollars upping their production so that their whiskey won't be as rare in 5 to 10 years. And that's process already happening. You can actually buy 12 bottles of Buffalo Trace in the gift shop. And he said a year ago you could only buy 1. So you can buy 12 Buffalo Trace in the tasting room, in the gift shop, whatever. And they put this out after. So I think that their production woes are getting better for sure. Buffalo Trace is one in my area that I can buy at any grocery store. But I remember when I was in a Total Wine in Tennessee, I overheard a customer asking if they had any Buffalo Trace, and the person working there said, oh yeah, we get it maybe once every few weeks and we run out immediately. And I was like, Buffalo Trace? You can get that at any grocery store. So I was pretty surprised by that, but I have heard people say that Buffalo Trace is really hard to find. So pretty cool process. They churn out 2 million pounds of grains per day there. That's how much whiskey they're making. That facility was so nice. It was so cool, and the tour was great. So if you ever get a chance to try it out in Kentucky, I recommend it. Cheers. Thanks for watching.
I'm your drinking buddy.